Life is a highway, and I wanna rise it all night long. Yes, guys, I admit, I collected all the Cars merchandise back in the day. Now, before we begin today's review, I just wanted to give a very special shout out to Lena May. I have lately become good friends with her as she is an amazing YouTuber, a sweet and wonderful person. She deserves over 1 million subscribers easily. So if you haven't visited her channel yet, please do. You won't regret it. You will love her videos as I do. Lena May gave me a shout out, so Lena, this is my shout out to you to say thank you. Cars, directed by John Lasseter, and is the 7th Pixar movie overall. So Cars tells the story of rookie race car Lightning McQueen, who's currently racing in the Piston Cup, and he dreams of being the first rookie ever to win the Piston Cup, and when it's a three-way tie between him, the King Stripweathers, and Chick Hicks, it's arranged that there will be a tiebreaker race between the three winners to determine the ultimate champion. But when McQueen accidentally gets lost while journeying to California in the long-forgotten town on Route 66, Radiator Springs, and he accidentally damages their road in the process, so the town refuses to let him leave until he cleans up the road. And while he's there, McQueen befriends Mesa, falls in love with Sally, and tries to solve the mystery of the mysterious Doc Hudson, who may be connected to McQueen in some way. And through all this, McQueen realises there's more to life than fame and fortune. I've never understood the overwhelmingly negative critical reception for Cars, even though at the time, decent reviews from critics, and still has a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes. The general public have a pure hatred towards it and consider it the black sheep of Pixar when it was released. And even though it was nominated for Best Animated Feature, it did lose to its rival movie, Happy Feet, which I enjoy, though do believe it's overrated at the same time. If it was up to me, Cars would have triumphed over Happy Feet at the Oscars. I am a Cars defender. I admit I love Cars. Okay. I assume you're all thinking right now, Harry, how dare you like Cars? Cars sucks, I'm unsubscribing. Well, please just let me explain. I do not consider Cars a perfect movie, but a very underrated and pretty darn great Pixar movie on its own. The most common complaints people have with this movie is how average it is by Pixar standards, because before Cars, Pixar released hit after hit. If you think about it, Toy Story 1 and 2, masterpieces. A Bug's Life, close to a masterpiece. And Finding Nemo, masterpiece. The Incredibles, you guessed it, absolute masterpiece. And even though Cars isn't a masterpiece, you guys are right, but I don't know why people hate it, because we can't expect a glorious masterpiece from Pixar all the time. No studio turns out a masterpiece with every movie. So let the positives commence as I give my reasons why I believe Cars is underrated. This is quite possibly going to be the most positive review of Cars you'll ever find on the internet. So firstly, the animation's stunning. This movie's a technical marvel, as Pixar always prove themselves to be the best at animation. It's completely absorbed me into the movie as a kid. Just looking at the racetrack, to the desert backgrounds, to the crowds, thousands of cars. It was jaw-dropping. I asked myself, how the fuck did they do that? And Cars is one of the most nostalgic movies to me ever. I was only 10 to 11 when it was released in summer 2006, and I became obsessed with buying all the merchandise I could get my hands on. All of the Lightning McQueens in the world I collected and still own. Yes, I know people say this movie was made to be a toy commercial. Well, to that I say no. Cars 2 is the toy commercial, not this movie. This movie has way more heart and better writing than that piece of shit that calls itself a Pixar movie. Yes, trust me, I'm saving my only rant for a Pixar movie for Cars 2 next time. I love most of the characters here. Lightning McQueen is not the most interesting Pixar protagonist by any stretch of the imagination, but even though he lacks personality, it's his character growth which made me love him. His journey from being a arrogant hothead wanting to get the piston cup so above everything else to gradually growing into a generally kind-hearted, nice guy. Felt completely natural to me, as the movie took 2 hours to do that. So yes, Cars is still the longest Pixar movie with a 2-hour running time, and I have to disagree that the movie's too long. I think 2 hours is a perfectly adequate length. I mean, if it was any shorter, Lightning McQueen's turn to a better person would have felt too abrupt, and the other side characters in Mateator Springs, they're delightful, and I think they have charm to them. Meta is not the Jar Jar Binks of Pixar, as many claim him to be, at least not in this film. Just wait till you see Cars 2. He's far worse than that. So I think Mesa's rather funny myself. He's a harmless comic relief character who doesn't deserve all the bashing, and I really like Sally. I think she's a pretty good love interest for McQueen. At first she despises him, understandably because of McQueen's arrogance, but over time as McQueen begins to appreciate the town, she grows very charmed by him, and they even take a beautiful drive together, which is a sweet moment of bonding, by the way. So their romance really works in a movie that's lacking in strong female characters. She leaves a big impact. But my favourite part of the entire movie is none other than Doc Hudson. Doc Hudson is not just the best character in the Cars franchise. He's one of the deepest characters Pixar has ever created. The people who hate this movie, please watch it again, and please give Doc a chance, because I think he really saves it. I mean, his backstory is tragic as fuck when we learn he was a racer like McQueen, only he won the championship 3 times back in the 50s. Only a devastating crash caused them to basically give up on him and replace him with a rookie. And Doc has been scarred by this ever since, and as soon as McQueen comes into his life, he's reminded of that all over again. So his relationship with McQueen is so poignant. Doc's pretty much the most important thing in the Cars trilogy, which is why I think it's disgraceful they don't even mention him in Cars 2. But thank God they bring him up again in Cars 3 to give his character the closure he deserves. And as for McQueen's other mentor, the King Strip Weathers, while he's only in like 10% of the movie, I still think he's great as he's Queen's mentor on the racetrack, explaining to him that you ain't gonna win the race unless you've got some friends. You can't win it alone. Is it excellent or what that they actually got a real racer in real life to voice him? The other voice actors are amazing too. Especially Paul Newman. Paul Newman is particularly wonderful. He knocks it out of the park as Doc Hudson. Perfect casting. Yeah, and as does Owen Wilson as McQueen, Larry the Cable Guy as Mater, and Bonnie Hunt as Sally, and Michael Keaton as Chick Hicks. The race scenes are the total package. They are thoroughly exhilarating and brilliantly staged. I was completely into them. Kind of ashamed that there's only 2 races in the whole movie. One in the beginning and one at the end. There could have been at least just one more race, and that would have satisfied me. But I was still perfectly happy with the races that we got. And there are some beautiful scenes in this movie which the haters unfairly overlook, like the whole montage of Sally explaining to McQueen about how Radiator Springs used to be a popular town for road travellers to visit, but when the interstate bypassed Route 66, the town has been basically forgotten ever since. That is one of the most beautiful Pixar scenes since When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2. I'm not kidding. And the soundtrack, I can't believe I haven't brought the soundtrack. People also forget how fantastic the songs are in this movie. Sheryl Crow's Real Gone and Life is a Highway are songs that I remember all the lyrics to. And yeah, the soundtrack is also really underrated here. And the third act of the movie, the ending is really ballsy when McQueen lets Chick Hicks win the race and goes to help the king finish his last race, as he's been too badly damaged to continue. That was a noble thing McQueen did, and that's goes to show that Pixar truly are the best animation studio working today. Any other animation company who made Cars just would have made McQueen win the race, predictably. But for all my pros of this movie, I do have one con, just one. It's the antagonist Chick Hicks is pretty weak. He is barely in the film. He's only in the first and third act. He's completely absent from the second act, and just he's one-dimensional. Despite Michael Keaton's best efforts, the Cars movies have always had the most forgettable Pixar villains, and Chick Hicks is no exception. But is there anything else that brings this movie down, in my opinion? Absolutely not. The Cars, I think, is up there with A Bug's Life as one of Pixar's most underrated. Yes, call me insane, but I think it's a great animated movie. The best of 2006 by far, considering 2006 had some shitty animated movies come out that year, but it's miles better than its terrible sequel, Cars 2. That movie deserves all the hate, not this one. I give Cars 4.5 stars out of 5. It's my favourite in the Cars trilogy, and I'd even put it in my top 10 favourite Pixar movies. That being said, it really didn't need the other 2 sequels that it got. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Cars? I predict a lot of you will disagree. Please comment, let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google+. And I'll see you next time when I rant about Cars 2. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.